Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Wednesday, November 12, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, KSAMC warns of possible rent increases for vendors. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is considering increasing weekly rental fees at the Constant Spring Arcade, saying current rates are too low to cover maintenance costs. Speaking at Tuesday's council meeting, Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, Andrew Swaby, said the tenants paying between $900 and $2,600 weekly are not contributing enough to keep the facility running. To put it plainly, there is hardly anything being sold in that arcade for $900 or less, yet that is what some of our tenants pay weekly. And I will say also that some of them don't pay, Swaby said. In July, KSAMC completed long overdue bathroom renovations at the arcade, which included plumbing repairs, new fixtures, tiling, and painting. The improvements were aimed at creating a cleaner, more comfortable environment for vendors and shoppers. This project was meant to make the space more hygienic and welcoming to everyone, the mayor said. Swaby added that KSAMC will also review corporate leasing arrangements to ensure that returns better reflect the value of the properties and the cost of upkeep. Each case will be considered individually. We do not intend to burden our tenants or partners, but we seek to improve the sustainability of KSAMC operations and continue delivering quality public service, he said. The mayor noted that Hurricane Melissa, which caused the widespread damage, mainly in the southwestern parishes, will require much of the central government's resources for relief and recovery. This makes it even more important for KSAMC to be financially resilient, he said, adding that high operational and expenditure costs remain a concern. Meetings have already started with departments to develop simpler systems to manage costs while improving performance. Car experts warn about buying flood cars. Members of the auto industry are warning that some cars that were submerged in floodwaters caused by Hurricane Melissa may be patched up and resold to unsuspecting buyers. Mechanic Anthony Palmer said the flood damage wrecks the car's heart, the electrical system. Salt water deteriorates the parts quicker than rainwater, and when the electrical component is damaged, sometimes to repair it is basically the same value of the car, he said. Palmer explained that most modern cars are packed with sensors and computers mounted low in the chassis, making them vulnerable even when water only rises part way. You have some parts that don't show the damage until after the cars start to drive, he said. So when you realize after it start drive, you have to change out a few parts, and some you change and it's okay. Palmer said repairs typically start around the $70,000 and climb, depending on the car and the extent of the damage. Vehicles that were driven through floodwaters are often the worst off. If the vehicle is chuckle, it takes in air through the engine. If the water goes in, it can't compress it, and that bends internal parts, he said. Air can compress, but water can't. He warned that drivers who live in flood-prone communities should make plans before the next storm. Don't leave the vehicle there, he advised, suggesting that Jamaicans begin thinking about high-rise parking or safer storage options, though such infrastructure remains rare. Roberto Issa, director of Continental Garage Limited, said the vehicles exposed to salt water are automatically write-offs. I fooled around with water damage once in my life and I'll never do it again, he said, recalling that he bought what looked like a flawless BMW after a flood. The car didn't drive, it was water damage up to the glass. Everything looked perfect until it started making sounds, bang, 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 and that was just fresh water, he said. According to Issa, salt water corrosion destroys the metal, wiring, and the sensors much faster than fresh water. Even after extensive cleaning and repair, hidden rust can eat away at the parts for months. You're always going to find complications because these cars are basically rolling computers, he said. Fresh water better than salt water, but when salt water hits it, you're in big trouble because of the rust. And for those without comprehensive insurance, the blow is brutal. Dog name is up if the car is not under insurance. It's a warrant. If it's a third-party insurance, Mother Nature can't help you. Unless someone hits you, you are liable. It's a warrant that some of these vehicles may later appear on the used car market, their flood history quietly covered up. The thing to look out for is water damage. That's the key. It's a caution to customers. Smell is another one, but it depends on if the person selling will tell you it's a flood car. A lit up dashboard is another red flag. If your dashboard lights up like a Christmas tree, then you know you're going to have a problem, Issa said. There are signs you have to look out for, and it's really difficult. You have to ask the right questions. I'm not saying water damage is not repairable, but it's a hit or miss, he added. 7 hospitals suffered severe damage from Hurricane Melissa. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says that there was catastrophic damage to roof and infrastructure of 7 hospitals on the southern and the western belt of the island due to Hurricane Melissa. These facilities include Black River in St. Elizabeth, Noel Homes in Hanover, Falmouth in Trelawney, Cornwall Regional in St. James, and the Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland, as well as St. Ansby in St. Anne. He says the Bellevue Hospital in Kingston also sustained damage during the passage of the hurricane, including roofing system failure, damage to biomedical equipment, electrical and sanitation, and the stormwater system.
Cornwall Regional has lost bed capacity of about 200 beds. Falmouth Hospital lost some 65% of its roof. Severe damage to lab and radiology services. Savlamar with 65% damage to roof along with other flooding damages and storm surge. Black River Hospital has seen the most significant damage nevertheless, with the hospital being decommissioned in the short term. And of course the service is relocated, including patients which were transferred, some 71 patients to the Mandeville Regional Hospital. There are 2 other field hospitals that are being established, and as we speak, the field hospital at the Falmouth Hospital is now and in service. Full-fledged hospitals with operating theaters, pharmacy, blood bank, inpatient care, accident and emergency wards. It's a full self-contained facility which provides significant support to the people on the ground. There's a third that is coming this week. We expect it on the island about Thursday. That one will be deployed at the Savlamar Hospital compound. Similarly, it will carry the features that these other 2 carry and will offer critical support to the people of Westmoreland. We are deploying more vector workers throughout the country, but particularly to the impacted areas, some 700 temporary vector workers. In addition to our permanent workers are being engaged. That process has commenced, and what we will see is a stepped up level of activity in terms of fogging. In fact, the ministry will continue its program of oiling of stagnant water in over 150 communities that have been targeted for this week, with over 500 communities expected to be treated over the next 2 weeks. ULV machines and other fogging equipment have been increased to support UNICEF, which is involved, UNICEF, and over 10,000 natular tablets and other vector control paraphernalia being distributed to regions. An additional 80 thermal foggers and 40,000 drum covers will be procured over the next 2 weeks.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.